Let's go to this ban on Australians returning from India. I want to go to Canberra and catch up with Raghbendra, who's with the Australian South Asia Research Centre. Thanks for joining us, Raghbendra. First up, you are worried. We'll come to the human cost of this in a moment, but you're worried about what this will do between what this will do to the relationship between Australia and India as nations.
Yes, I'm a bit concerned about it, essentially because the Australia-India ties at this point in time are particularly good. They are extremely good. If you look at the way the Prime Minister was welcomed to the Raisina dialogues in Delhi, the way India joined the Malabar Navy trials with the US and Australia and Japan, and the real great bonhomie that exists between the governments of the two countries, the opportunities for business that have been opened in India because of various concessions given at the latest budget of the government of India, and so on. So, to preface my remarks, I would like to first say that this is actually a golden opportunity for both India and Australia to build a very strong partnership, which is so essential for...
Raghbendra, let me just jump in quickly and take up one point here, because I agree with you that the India-Australian relationship is very important. It's been underdone over the years. There's a good focus on it now. It's crucial for Australia, both economically and strategically, to build up that relation with India. But this action is really directed only at Australian citizens. There's no slight against India. There's no damage done to India itself. It's really a slight against Australian citizens in India, preventing them from coming home.
Well, the point is that they are still people of Indian origin, so they still have links with folks back in India. Many of them are OCI card holders, overseas citizens of India card holders, which gives them residency rights in India and certain other rights in India. So there are still quite strong links that most of these people have with India. And the point that the Indian government would worry about is that why are these people being prevented from returning to Australia? So this is so India won't worry if a US national living in India could not come to Australia, but India would be concerned if a person of Indian origin who was an Australian citizen is trying to go back to Australia and is unable to do so.
The other point, of course, if any Australian Indian citizens remain in India and do get COVID or any other illness, they add to the burden on an already overwhelmed Indian health system, I suppose. But do you think this will have registered at a diplomatic level, at a government-to-government level already as a problem in the relationship?
That depends on whether this action was discussed before it was announced. If it was discussed with the Indian government and they knew about it before it was announced, then the impact would be a little bit less. But if it was not discussed, then there could be a problem. But of course, I'm not privy to this kind of discussion.
Right. Now, I want to put something to you. You know my opinion. I've railed against this ban since before it was put in place, and I can't understand why India is singled out when so many other countries have had higher infection rates and there was no ban. But the argument is put that many of the Indian Australians, the Australian citizens in India now, have had it both ways. They might be Australian citizens who want to spend time with their family in India. They didn't heed the warnings to come back earlier, that they're to blame for being stuck there now, and we shouldn't have to take any risks with them. What's your response to that argument?
Well, the risk assessment is something which the government must have done in consultation with their medical advisors. And if the action taken is proportionate to the risk assessment, then there should be understanding on that part. But the big difference now is from the earlier waves that you were mentioning in the US and the UK, is that of course India is having a pretty bad time with the virus, with the second wave of the virus. But India has also vaccinated 158 million people already. And it has, the recovery is in the order of 320,000 people every day. So there are some plus points to the medical issues in India.
Indeed, and let's hope that continues to improve that situation. Thanks so much for joining us, Raghbendra Jha. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Raghbendra Jha there from the Australia South Asia Research Centre joining us from Canberra. Let's hope that those signs of some improvement in the medical situation continue, but it's very, very dire in India at the moment.